Welcome to episode 3 of 10 Years Later. I'm your host, Ben. Today, we're covering a big one, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, released 10 years ago today. We're going to see if this game stands the test of time. I've got to stick to making these 10 minutes max, so let's get into it. Time to drink our potions, apply our oils, and take down this beast.
Witches.
The Witcher 3 is an open-world RPG developed by CD Projekt Red and was released 10 years ago today on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's the third entry in the series, concluding the story of Geralt of Rivia, a Witcher, a mercenary that was once mutated to possess simple spells and enhanced abilities. Witchers are more of an independent band of monster slayers for hire, but can frequently get involved in the world's politics. The fantasy-based setting takes inspiration from Slavic folklore, but includes your normal assortment of imaginary fantasy creatures and races: dwarves, elves, monsters, French people.
Buckthorn. I do not know this, but I am not yet fluent in the common tongue.
And more. They all inhabit the series setting known as the continent. In the game, Geralt travels to the northern regions of the continent to find Ciri, his adoptive daughter, who's gone missing. More importantly, Ciri has powers that let her manipulate space and time. Bad news bears if it gets into the wrong hands. One such faction vying for Ciri's power is the Wild Hunt, spectral elf warriors trying to use her powers to take over the world. Geralt's race to find Ciri before the Wild Hunt finds him traveling to the northern kingdoms, Temeria and Redania. There, he follows the breadcrumb trail, bumping into familiar faces and troublesome new allies, who all have their own issues, and it's not like they're willing to divulge their information about Ciri before making Geralt deal with their problems. This is all on the backdrop of a massive civil war brewing between the northern kingdoms and their unfriendly neighbor to the south, Nilfgaard. In fact, it's the leader of these Frenchies who sent you out to find Ciri in the first place, as Ciri is their next in line by blood. All of this context is important as it affects all ways of life through every NPC you meet in the game, because let's just say it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The people are struggling and they're desperate, and this plays a big part in how they treat you. You see, a lot of the population of the continent are judgmental of Witchers, but with the suffering brought on by the war, they have no one else to turn to solve their problems. That's a good segue to talk about how beautiful this game is. The first bigger zone you start in is Velen, a province in northern Temeria which currently stands as the hotbed of the Civil War. This is where you'll find fresh corpses from nearby skirmishes, bodies hanging from gallows, and small villages struggling to survive in the middle of the conflict. Turn the corner, however, and you'll find lush forests, untouched plains, and active wildlife. When heading off with your trusty steed Roach, the music that plays as you traverse this countryside blighted by war understood the assignment. It's haunting, yet beautiful. You feel constantly on edge, but hopeful at the same time. I gotta talk about the combat as well, because the music here bangs too. It's hard to pin down how the game plays when the swords come out, but think of it as a baby between Dark Souls and Ghosts of Tsushima, without the crushing difficulty. Witchers have two swords, silver for monsters and steel for humans. You can switch between these manually, but by default, Geralt will whip out whatever tool is best for the job. In Souls games, it's sometimes better to lock onto one enemy and start wailing on them. But here, a lot of the time, it's almost better to take pop shots at several enemies, back off, and fend off other guys as you dodge, roll, deflect, and pirouette. The combat here is fun, sometimes enduring, as you fight to stay alive during these dances. Now, Velen is not the only location in The Witcher 3. The game starts you off in a smaller area, known as White Orchard. It's a great opener as it lets you get used to the game's open world mechanics in a tighter, more comfortable map. Later in the game, you'll travel to the Skellige Isles, a series of islands off the coast to the continent home to, essentially, Vikings, and the sickest, longest Red Bull-sponsored cliff dive. You can even kick back and relax with your fellow Witchers at their home, Kaer Morhen, which, in my opinion, has the highlight of the soundtrack. Throughout the world, you'll follow the main quests to find Ciri, but you'll constantly be distracted with side activities shown on the map with question marks. See this? Yeah, that's the bitch route. Now this is where men go when they tell their family they're going out to get the milk. These spots on the map will bring you to monster nests to destroy, buried treasure to find, enemy camps to clear out, traveling shopkeepers to save, and much more. There's some animosity towards modern AAA open-world action games due to their bloat, and while The Witcher 3 doesn't do it many favors with its amount of side content, it's all pretty evenly paced, so you don't really feel like it's a nuisance when you come across them.
Here, your frying pan.
Mine? But mine were black with soot.
Now, this is the first game I'll cover that I actually got on launch. Before it came out, I really had no attraction towards the franchise, and I only really knew it as this and this. 2014 was about the time when little baby boy Ben sat down every June to watch Gamer Christmas. And this year, Xbox was going to show off something new with Halo 5, which was pretty much the thing I was most hyped for at the time. Nothing was going to go wrong with that game. It was going to be so great. How little did I know. Anyway, all we got was some dumb narrated trailer that didn't even feature the chief, which bummed me out. But something else caught my attention. The first gameplay snippet of Wild Hunt showing Geralt tracking down a griffin. The vibes for this game gave off were so interesting, so after the show I started looking into it and found one of the best trailers for a game I've ever seen. It's not often that a trailer gets me amped for a game. There are some games that I love but have absolutely god-awful trailers, but the marketing for this game was just done so right. The final game in a large fantasy universe, give it shots of sprawling vistas, quick combat cuts, cheesy one-liners,
I shall give her what she deserves.
and you got yourself a banger. Fast forward to one pre-order for Xbox and 1 year later, and the game was in my hands, and dude, it came with a map and a manual. These really became a dying practice even 10 years ago, so seeing it here was such a great surprise. The game immediately got me hooked. The intro sucks you right in, whoa, and you immediately become engrossed with the story and its characters. The combat took me a while to get the hang of, but I started to find the best upgrades to suit my playstyle. That playstyle was all points into fast attack, unlock whirl, hold X, then roll credits. This was also the first game to introduce a game within a game. I know, crazy concept, but hear me out. Gwent. Yes, cards for degenerates. Pot of Greed? No, we play an entire battalion of poor fucking infantry, then promptly lose to one heavy Zeracanian fire scorpion.
Well, it's not a game for everyone.
Gwent is a numbers game. And I'm not talking Balatro, which introduces expert concepts not meant for the feeble-minded, such as multiplication. Gwent is all about addition, such as the addition of the last crowns from this poor farmer's pockets straight into mine after winning a little parlay directly after I told him I couldn't save his daughter from the drowners next door and failing his side quest. Sorry for your loss, it's just business, baby. Gwent goes hard. Almost every traveling salesman you meet can challenge you in Gwent, and if you beat them, they give you a new card that you can add to one of your 4 different faction-themed decks. This can all culminate in a banger side quest where you take on the continent's finest in a Gwent tournament. Listen, we gotta get going, but the point is the music, the story, the characters, they all had me hooked. And there's one character I want to introduce, then promptly move on from, the Bloody Baron. This character comes up in the beginning hours of the main story. You approach him looking for information regarding Ciri's whereabouts, then get one of the most tense, action-packed, tear-jerking quests in any RPG. Go to any Witcher 3 fan, ask them what the best quest is, and they will tell you the Bloody Baron. It is that good, and this quest has better writing than most AAA games out there. Anyway, the game came out 10 years ago today, on May 19th, 2015, on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. You may have heard of the Golden Boy reputation given to CD Projekt Red. A big part of it stems back to the 16 free DLCs released shortly after the game came out. While this wasn't anything groundbreaking, it was still nice to see. A new Gwent deck, a few new quests, some new armor, and more. One could say this was in the game all along, but was cut to get free brownie points, but the base game already had so much content that I don't think people really cared. Later in the year, they released their first major expansion, Hearts of Stone. Then in May the following year, Blood and Wine. Someone's got to hold me back when talking about Blood and Wine, or else I'm going to go on for another 10 minutes. Fresh art style, amazing new location, and a super interesting story, one that feels like the wholesome end cap to Geralt's journey. This expansion alone rivals some standalone open world games today. In 2018, they tried to rival Hearthstone with a standalone Gwent game, a free-to-play card game that personally I did not like, But I also understand it's not for me. Since you're going up against different people, the main focus was balance and strategy. I got one right here. They also released Thornbreaker, The Witcher Tales, a single-player version of Gwent, which I have not played. The standalone Gwent game kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, but people say it's pretty good, so I won't judge it and I hope to play it one day. After that, we have The Witcher Monster Slayer, a geolocation-based mobile app designed to mimic Pokemon Go, where you use Google Maps to walk around in the real world to slay monsters and... Come on, guys. What are we doing here? You know what we want. Stop spending time and money on slop. Bring this train to the station. Bring us what we need.
Tonight's first game announcement is an absolute honor to share with you. It comes from a Game of the Year winning studio whose immersive storytelling has thrilled players.
Oh my god. They went ahead and announced The Witcher 4 with an amazing, albeit all CGI trailer, and I don't care. Ciri is the main protagonist. Some people will be mad, but I don't care. Will I probably be 45 when it comes out? Sure. You make time for games like this, just like I made time away from my life to leave Hanako at Embers for 60 hours. Soon we'll have The Witcher 4, and after more than 10 years after Wild Hunt, it'll have some giant shoes to fill in the wake of Cyberpunk and most likely GTA 6. But if there's a developer who can make an amazing open world RPG and probably fail to optimize it, it's CD Projekt Red. Now, I would love to talk for ages about Cyberpunk 2077, which CDPR released in 2020, but it may just be worth making its own video in 5 years. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's get out of here before video editing Ben invents a time machine to go back in time and strangle me. The Witcher 3 looks amazing, no more needs to be said. It frequently goes down in price, so be sure to pick up the complete edition. You gotta play it. Go on, buy it. I'm not gonna ask again. This has been Ben from 10 Years Later. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below and don't forget to drop a like and follow us on our socials in the description. With that out of the way, let's get out of here. We'll return after a couple-month hiatus for something painful. I'm not gonna hurt you, it's in the title for the next game. I'm hoping to make the next one another banger, so please don't go anywhere. And as always, do you feel old yet?